This is the story of the Holy Grail, of how it was found and how it was lost. This is also my story, and the story of the Knights Templar. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free.
So this is the First Templar. It's our Xbox 360 and PC title. It'll be coming out in North America and Europe around May 10th of this year. And what it does is it follows the story of the Knights Templar in the late Middle Ages as the church is kind of falling due to greed and corruption. The kingdoms of Europe are kind of falling. We're heading towards the Dark Ages. And so what we're doing here is, you know, the Templars are going out trying to be that force for good. They're trying to find the Holy Grail, thinking that'll bring everything back to normal. What they don't realize is that all those kings that they've loaned money to and the churches that they've loaned money to have decided to put a hit out on them. It's a lot easier to kill your banker than to pay him back. So because the Templars were a very financially strong entity at the time, a lot of people owed him money. So as you're going through just trying to find the Holy Grail, you're also trying to unravel this conspiracy of, hey, why are they trying to kill us? Why do we keep running into these random bandits, it seems, that, you know, are having a go at us all the time? So you're working on those two. And also, as part of the storyline, what we've introduced is the question of, is the Holy Grail something good? Is it, if it exists, if it's not just mythology, is it a source for good, or is it actually Satan has planted the idea in man that there's this great thing that'll fix everything? Now go send all your troops out and all your good people to go find it, while I deal with making everybody else evil. So you have that question in your mind, you know, the characters do as they play the game. Is this even worth going after? Could we be wasting our time? And the church is just going to collapse anyways, the world's going to turn to the Dark Ages, and we fought for nothing.
My name is Celian Daristede. Whatever I did in the past, I have the chance to mend it now.
It's kind of your, it's a third-person action RPG, sort of a hack and slash with a really deep storyline. We're trying to stay historically accurate with it as much as we can without turning it into History 101. So, you know, you're still going to have a lot of action, you know, some things a normal human can't do, but we're not going to have, say, high fantasy in here. No orcs, no elves, no dragons, no magic. Another good example of that is like healing. When you're in combat and you go to heal, there's no potions. Instead, being a holy man, the Templars, or a holy knight, if you will, they drink holy water. If they find it throughout various checkpoints, then that'll heal them. Or they eat food and that heals them. But we don't want you to have to stop, open your inventory, find a potion, drink that. This stuff is instead scattered throughout the game.
More of them are coming.
Swords, not words!
Now we just had a quick battle, and you start out with some pretty basic weapon combos. The more you play, the more you'll unlock of the combos. You have a skill tree, which actually each character will have a separate skill set. There's 3 characters in the game, and they'll each have their own skill tree, and you can see it says, you know, how many XP he has, how many XP you need. We can upgrade to, say, Templar Strike, which is hit X 3 times and it does a super combo. Things like that. Shield Breaker comes later on, where you get that annoying enemy who just kind of clinches up with his shield, and you're like, fine, I'll use my power hit and just smash right through it.
Is there any way that if you decide like to change your mind, is there any way to sort of backtrack with your skills and put them somewhere else?
Once you've bought a skill, it's yours to keep. Yeah, no takebacks. Just like most, you know, you don't have a respecking like MMOs sometimes offer. So what we have is, when you start, you've got 2 characters. You've got, and I always pronounce this wrong, my French is terrible, it's Celian, the main Templar, then Roland is the other Templar. and they each, have their strengths and weaknesses. The main Templar Celian, he's got the shield, he's got the sword, he's kind of your all-around heavy hitter kind of guy, almost your tank character. He's really good for things like, say there's an archer attack on you, he can throw the shield up, do the blocks, while Roland, who's the better, just general melee fighter, can rush in and kill the archers before they reload. Roland also has grappling skills, so he can actually grab enemies from behind, and then you can rush in and pull the kill. Later on, you'll actually unlock a third, which is a noblewoman who was jailed for heresy, which of course is the church was just trying to take her lands away from her. Well, she's actually a really skilled melee fighter, but also a distance fighter. And she's very acrobatic, so she's good when you need to solve a puzzle that involves, say, climbing or flipping over an object, doing a cartwheel, something like that. And you can actually switch between them at any time. Just on Xbox, it's left bumper switches you between the characters. On PC, it's the tab button will jump you between characters. So if you decide I want to just play the other guy, or there's a certain puzzle I need to finish, you just bumper over, as I say, and you're on the other character and you can do it. The nice thing is it's a smart enough AI to know when it needs to help out. So you're not just having this second character you're stuck dragging along until you need him. It will actually know, hey, I'm going to get into the fight, or I might help you, nudge you along to the solution to this puzzle.
There's nothing more frustrating sometimes when you're playing with an AI character and you're like on a platform and you needed to activate a lever or press a trigger or something like that, and you just end up stuck because the AI is just really obtuse. So
yeah, absolutely, it's very helpful when you're in a fight, especially because we throw some big fights at you. We're gonna put your fighting skills to the test, so you want to make sure and have some help along the way. This also leads to, we have drop-in, drop-out co-op, both online through Xbox Live and PC, and offline, you can do it through split screen. Your friend can come in, join your game for a little while, help you progress, leave your game, but you're still at that advanced point. A lot of story moments, just so people get the idea of what's going on here. You get a lot of backstory. You can also, if you're a skip story person like me, where you're just like, pound that B button to move on.
That's heresy to me. That's heresy. It's all about the story.
So you get, here you get the Templar Chronicles. At any time you can pull up the Chronicles and it will actually read back to you the story and tell you what's going on here. So you can come back to it later when you don't feel like smashing through everything in sight. So there's the main storyline, and then there's also plenty of side quests to get XP. And
is the story sort of linear? Can you like drop one quest and go off and do another one, or can you follow rigidly? Or
you pretty much have to follow the storyline, but we do have a lot of side quests you can do along the way. So that mixes it up in case you just don't feel like going for the Grail or following the key story. You just want to go beat some things up for a while. You can, branch off, and it's not going to push you back on the path or anything if you do decide to go do a side quest. We're not trying to make a super deep RPG. We're more the hack and slash kind of thing. So we've got a very simple skill tree. I mean, it's got plenty of skills. I mean, if I were to guess, there's probably 40 or so on there. And each character has their own skill tree that you can unlock just through gaining XP. And you gain XP through combat, even through treasure chests, through making it through checkpoints. Just really straightforward. Pick up a skill, toughness. It adds an extra health orb to your health bar. Things like that. Or, as I said before, we have like different combos like the Templar Strike, things like that. You can also unlock different outfits for the characters. We don't really have an inventory. You're not going to have like 20 different kinds of sword or anything. But we are taking what they do have and making it kind of cool. So there's different Templar uniforms that you unlock, and you have to go through and gather all the prerequisites to make that outfit. Same thing with different swords, different shields, things like that. So there's a reason, there's something driving you, to kind of feed that dopamine addiction response of like, I really want, to have the shield with the big cross in the middle and that sort of thing.
But you're not going to have, like, obviously, it saves having a huge inventory of things that you sort of store like a pack rat and never use, so you just upgrade.
Exactly. We don't have the extensive inventory at all. And so you will also have some bosses. Even though we don't have any fantasy elements, we're still trying to make the enemies interesting. So beyond the typical, ooh, it's, yet another knight who's really powerful, we've added stuff like, we call it the Beast is a good example. He looks like an ogre, but it's really just a deformed human, That's our kind of Okay, we
That's like the
snuck
get
a
out
monster
thing,
in
yeah.
there, but we gave a reason why he exists.
I think it's quite an interesting setting that we're sort of seeing it from the point of view of the Templars, because I think Assassin's Creed in recent years has taught us to sort of fear the Templars, and it's interesting that we're now playing as them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's funny. A lot of people will come in and be like, "Is this a kind of a knockoff of Assassin's Creed?" And we're saying, no, not at all. The Templars were a force for good, and this doesn't play at all like Assassin's Creed. This is its own game. But once people see Templar right away, that's kind of what they think.
It's like the bad guy now of gaming.
Yeah.
So.
We're like, no, they're actually the good guys. And so that's really pretty much the First Templar in a nutshell.
This is the story of the Holy Grail, of how it was found and how it was lost. This is also my story, and the story of the Knights Templar. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free.